The Haunted House by Steve Lucock. Zante remembers how on one summer's day, his daddy Steve started to sneeze whilst changing his bed of hay. He reached for his hanky, but it wasn't there anymore, so Zante went inside to look to see if he'd dropped it on the floor. He couldn't see it anywhere, but then he heard a shout. The animals were yelling, "There's a ghost in the house!" Zante went to look, and there, to his surprise, was a little white ghost before his very eyes. Zante gave a shriek as it passed him across the floor. Then it ran out of the office and into the hall. Alfie was on his radiator bed, feeling as warm as toast, but he soon got a shiver when he saw the little ghost. Alfie followed it into the kitchen as it frightened Rabbit Smudge, and then ran past Buddy the Rabbit, giving him a nudge. Chachina watched as it ran up the stairs from the comfort of the post and shouted up to the landing to warn her friends about the ghost. On the landing was Tortoise Fizz, who couldn't run as she was too slow, so she hid inside her shell and waited for the ghost to go. In the bedroom, Flower the Meerkat raised her little head as the ghost jumped up beside her and ran across the bed. In the spare room, Cookie was hiding as she didn't know what to do, but the ghost ran in and found her, and Cookie got frightened too. Sapphire the Owl flew in to see Cookie to check that she was okay, but the ghost had disappeared. It must have ran away. Chachina flew up to the landing and shouted all was clear, but then they heard tiny squeaks. It sounded full of fear. It had visited the rats, who cuddled up as tight as could be. They shouted really loud for help from the animals and Steve. The ghost turned and ran and headed down the stairs, followed by the rats, who went down in pairs. In the office, Freddy the Snake was hiding next to the computer screen, keeping really still, trying not to be seen. Harpo in a cage gave off a frightened squawk as the ghost reached out to stroke her. She froze and could not talk. Chachina went in to see, and the others took a look as the ghost went under the table and seemed to get stuck. The animals gathered round, as scared as they could be, when Zante and Steve came in and said, "There it is. Why didn't you tell me?" The animals then looked and gave a sigh of relief. It was only Gus the prairie dog under Steve's handkerchief.
Hi, it's Steve Lucock here from Saviour's Haven Sanctuary. Please subscribe to this channel and help us to support Zante Fox and Friends.